going to go live. It says we're streaming, but I don't see us. All right, guys, we are live with Blake Nubar, and I appreciate you coming on today, Blake. Everybody has been very hyped about you coming on and spreading your knowledge with us.
I appreciate you having me. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to hopefully drop some value that, everyone can really use in their business and life and whatever way we take this thing. I'm pumped.
Right. Well, I tell you what, everybody knows that you are, you hit the 2 Comma Club in what, 43 days, is it?
Yeah.
Just one. But where did you come from before then? I mean, what said, I want to build funnels?
Yeah. So I was working traditional 9 to 5. I was working for a fitness company, and what we did as a company is we developed personal training certifications. Basically, anyone that wanted to become a personal trainer in the fitness space, we created that certification. And yeah, we were working on a product together, or we were working on a project there. And when we were ready to start marketing it, it's like our first flagship product. The marketing team didn't know how to effectively market and sell it online. Like, no one knew what a funnel was. I had no idea what a funnel was, right? Because at the time I was just like operations and product development. And basically I kind of took it in my own hands to figure it out, because out of pure frustration, I didn't want to create this amazing product and then have no one purchase it. So I remember going home one night, I was pissed, I was frustrated, and I'm on Facebook. I was on it was like 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. And I see this guy named Russell Brunson come across my Facebook feed. And I had no idea what he was. I just saw he was just some goofy guy. Like, his picture was all goofy. I was like, who is this guy? And I click on his ad, and it brings me to a funnel, which at the time I thought was a website, right? And he's teaching about funnels, and then here's how you sell stuff online, and you got to do all this stuff. And I'm like, instantly I was captivated. I was like, this is how we're going to do it. And I was so drawn into what he was selling that I remember watching it for a second time. And it's like a 90-minute presentation. So it's like 6 a.m. now. I go straight into the office the next day, and I just start writing. We had this like whiteboard wall, like every, like cool tech office has. And right. I'm just like writing on it. I'm like, we're going to use a funnel. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I know how to sell this. I know how we're going to sell this product now. And they're like, all right, man, like whatever you say. And I start creating which was a webinar funnel at the time. And I remember I called up, we had like a celebrity trainer who his main job, he's out in Hollywood. He would teach people how to become, how to get in shape for like Marvel Avengers movies, things like that. Like, he would train some of the top, Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. He trained all these people. And he was kind of like the poster child for the course. And I'm like, hey man, listen, I need you to create this webinar. I'm gonna write it up and just like kind of record it. And like, here's the bullet points. Here's how you create it. He's like, sure, man, no problem. He sends it back. We throw it in this funnel. And then I go to the marketing department. I'm just like, hey, just turn on ads. Don't worry about like marketing and stuff. Just do ads. Like, you guys know ads, right? And they start running ads. They start driving traffic, and people land on our webinar. They opt in and they watch the webinar. And we're delivering this presentation. And right when we deliver the offer, nothing happened. No one bought. Like 5 minutes went by, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And eventually the webinar ended, and not a single person purchased. And I remember it was at that moment, I was just like, what the hell? Like, I listened to everything this guy Russell said, and nothing worked. And, I was green. I didn't know marketing at the time. I thought it was, that easy. And I remember going outside. I was pissed. I had like my hands on my head. I was just sitting there on the steps, like another failure in the books, typical. And I was like, let me try one more thing. And I just went back inside. I went to my desk and I clicked on the refresh button, and we got our first sale for like $7.97. And it was at that moment my entire life changed. And I remember I was so drawn into the possibilities of what that could become that I went in the next day and I quit. I quit the job. And for the next year of my life, I ventured out on trying to learn everything I need to learn about funnels and selling online and marketing and messaging and offers and all this stuff. And next thing you know, we did $1 million in 43 days. Everything just kind of like unfolded from that moment forward. But that's kind of like my backstory of it all, my origin story to this thing.
Wow. You quit your job after one webinar and one sale.
That's it. That's all it took. That's all it took for my brain to just be like, yeah, you need to start doing this. Because I weighed out my options. The worst case scenario is if it didn't work, I just go back to a job. So I was like, I'm young. I was like, this is the time to take a very bold risk in my life. And it was scary. It sucked. Look, that full year of being jobless was hard. It was like probably the most difficult time, but I knew that if I could get through that, that everything would start falling into place one way or another.
So when was it that you created the funnel that sent you over the $1 million mark?
Yeah. So I created a profile on Upwork like right after I was done. I just basically studied under the greats like Russell and Frank and Dean and Ty and all the people that know marketing, and I would just like learn under them. And when I felt like I was ready, I created an Upwork profile, and I just like told people what I did. Like I was like a ClickFunnels wizard, like whatever. And you know, I switched the mentality of like trying to get clients to going for wins, which worked. And the first person I really had the chance to instead of like trying to chase down clients to get business, I was like, let me just try and find one person and let's make a massive win no matter what. And that's when I was introduced to a dear friend of mine named Brian. And he was having, he had an online course. He didn't know how to sell it. Zero lists, zero audience, zero proof of concept. We were just ground zero. And I was like, this is my opportunity to really prove that I can take what I've learned over the past year and work with someone on making a massive win for their business. And we teamed up together on that project. And that's when we did 1 million in 43 days when we launched it with an online course.
That is amazing. I know everybody's like, they see the win, they want the win, but they don't see all the crap that happened before the win. And
Yeah.
so Blake Nubar did not just wake up one day and he had a $1 million funnel. It took a lot of
like most, you only hear about wins, right? Like that's online marketing. People post their wins and successes. It's like that whole picture of the tip of the iceberg. That's all you really see. Like other than that, you're eating crap for a majority of the time. And a lot of people they've never failed on that level before. So it's hard to fail elegantly and get back up and go again. But man, I failed countless times on things I do. It's like a lot of the times when you launch something, it's not a success. It's not what you want it to do because you can only speculate so much of the variables before you finally figure out how this market's going to work after you launch. And then after you launch, you make tweaks and you test it out, and that's how you get a winning formula. But yeah, like I think a lot of people are under the idea that you launch a funnel and you make money, and like yeah, that can happen, but it's few and far between. That's how it works. You usually eat shit for a little bit and fail, and then you find a way to make those funnels work.
So your $1 million formula, how many times would you speculate you tweaked and changed? And
I did 5 iterations of that funnel till it was a winner. Like it was just one after. I got creative, right? I made the big mistake thinking that I could be creative and different and do some cool stuff, and it just didn't work. And then it wasn't until I was like, well, who's doing similar stuff that I can go and kind of get inspiration from? And when I started doing that, that's when everything started changing. And yeah, it was like 4 or 5 iterations of it until it was like, that's it. That's the winner.
That's crazy. I mean, that just shows you, I made 5 or 6 tweaks and only made, a couple $1,000s off of the funnel. But I mean, I love that you coming on and saying that you had to tweak it. You more than likely split test it 1 million times. Change everything up. Do you split test everything?
All the time. Yeah. Yeah. You like with funnels and stuff, like it's the easiest thing for people to understand, but there's a lot more than the funnel, right? You have to have a good message. You have to have the market has to be a fit. You have to have a product they want. It's like a house of cards, and you have to have 1,000 pieces to make this house, but one wrong little move, the whole thing comes tumbling down. And I think, a lot of myself included, when I first started out, I was under the impression if you have a funnel up for your business, you magically make money. And that couldn't be further from the truth, right? Like a funnel is part of the equation, but there's so many other variables involved to really find the success online. It just comes down to twisting knobs and connecting pieces in the right fashion to really find that path of success.
And you normally have people, I don't know what your method is. My method is to draw everything out, to have everything going, look at what I have available to offer, and then start laying it out that way. I don't even touch the ClickFunnels software until I have all of this other stuff done. And I think too many people jump on the aesthetics of it and into the software before having the solid plan.
Yeah, because that's the easy stuff. I did when I jumped into ClickFunnels. I went straight to the builder because it's fun. It's easy, right? Like you get to avoid all the crap that really makes someone purchase from you. And it's really just busy work. You feel like you're accomplishing a lot, but you're really not doing much, right? Until you get back to the basics and the market research and creating an offer that your market wants and really understanding your market. A lot of people don't understand truly who they're going after. Like, what are they thinking? What's the conversations they're having in their head? What keeps them up at night? Until you understand that, it's going to be an uphill slog the whole time. You truly have to tune into who it is that you're serving, what kind of painkiller can you offer them, and then you wrap it all up in a funnel to really deliver it. The funnel is just the delivery method. It's how, like, look, you need a good funnel, right? Like a great offer, a great message, and a great funnel is the trifecta of a grand slam. You can have some of those components, like a funnel can be kind of crappy and you can still make a lot of money with a good offer and a good message. But like, if you really want to have the thing that people talk about, all three of those components have to be top notch. And yeah, I think a lot of people, they skip the hard stuff because it's hard. Like no one wants to do market research. No one wants to figure out messaging because messaging is difficult. No one wants to take time to really build a product. You do the easy stuff, and that's a backwards thought process. I feel like that's a lot of the reasons why people aren't having success online.
Or with funnels in general.
Yeah. I didn't have success. I did the same thing. I was like, I built a funnel, it didn't work. Like it doesn't work like that. You got to flip that on its head.
So how do you start? So let's just say you have a product that you are wanting to market. How do you start your process? So everybody has an idea.
I usually don't even start with a product. I usually start with the market. I want to understand like what market am I going after? And then inside of that segment, what's the niche? What's the type of people I want to serve? Who is it I'm going after inside of that larger market? And then I basically just find out what they need. Like a lot of the times I think it's a quote by Henry Ford. If I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So I take into consideration, like you have to find out what problems they're running into, but also you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to not just listen to that, but you have to take what problems they're facing and incorporate it into some bigger solution with your grander vision in play, right? And once I understand the market, I understand the problems, and I add it to a bigger picture, I create the product. And then once you have that, you go and you start marketing it. You build the funnel, you do things like that. There's a ton of different strategies. If you're doing an online course, some people, you don't do anything. You just go to a market and you build out the product with them. It's a very popular strategy to build an online course, and it works extremely well. So it just depends. Am I doing an e-commerce? Is it a physical product? Is it a digital product? Am I selling a service? It all really depends. But all in all, I start at the market level and I find out what keeps them up at night. And then I go provide a solution for that. Like that is really how you have a winning formula. You have to provide a solution. Like I say it all the time. God knows we need another payment app on the market. Like it's not solving a problem. And if you don't solve a problem, like your days are probably numbered.
Right. I completely agree with that. So whenever you are working with someone and you're analyzing their funnels or whatever, what do you see the biggest mistakes that people are making?
I think a lot of people struggle with the message. They don't know how to effectively communicate an angle to what it is they're selling. And they struggle with headlines and hooks and the story behind the hook, even the offer. I mean, I think probably the easiest part is geared around even the funnel's hard, actually. I mean, it's all difficult, but if I had to pinpoint the biggest thing I see people struggle with, it's trying to find a unique way to sell whatever it is that they're selling in a way that captivates and brings in the market. Like there's a ton of things. I see people struggle with, they struggle with video. They struggle with what goes in the funnel. It's like, all right, what goes on this section of the funnel? It's like, it's difficult, right? It takes time. It takes a lot of learning, a lot of like investment in the learning and understanding it and trial and error and testing. There's a lot of things. But yeah, if I was going to pinpoint, it's how to sell. I don't think a lot of people truly know how to sell.
I agree. And I think they're afraid to sell too.
Yeah, and like that's the essence of entrepreneurship. Like you like anytime I go and sell something, I fail a few times before because you don't always nail it. You don't always hit a grand slam. Like sometimes I hit a single and I get on first. But then like you can tweak it and alter different variables in your message. And next thing you know, you're you're hitting home runs every time you're at bat. So it just comes down to like, you got to really learn to have success online. The only way to really have success online is you have to learn sales and marketing. You're not going to come into the digital marketing space and just crush it. You're not going to sit behind your computer and make money as like from home with your laptop open. Like, you might get lucky and make a couple $100, but then what? How do you grow that? How do you add more products? Like, you have to truly learn sales and marketing. And until you make that identity shift and you say, you put the hat on and you're like, I'm a marketer, it's going to be a struggle. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. So whenever we see, you know, most of you guys have probably seen a lot of Blake's templates and stuff inside the ClickFunnels marketplace. The funnels itself are, I noticed, of course, they're beautifully made. They're very pleasing to the eye. But when you build the funnel and you do all that, you have something more than what some of the others have. And that is not only the layouts look like they flow well, but you also have email swipe stuff. Explain how yours is different than, you know, others.
I think so. I guess it's kind of a twofold, right? I think there's a lot of great designers, right? I think there's what I've seen lately inside of this space is that people can design beautiful funnels, but I've noticed they're not really designing funnels. They're designing websites and they're calling them funnels. Funnels are different than a website. It's a different feel. It elicits a different emotion. There's arrows, there's things that pull your attention. And a lot of people have amazing skill sets, but they're designing websites. They're not designing funnels. And then on top of that, like, I've always been an advocate for great design, right? I think people that say design doesn't matter are people that don't know how to design, and they think that they can just skate by it. And like, although that might be true to an extent, look, if you want to win, if you want to be the creme de la creme, the best, every part of your business needs to be absolutely amazing. You can't just skimp because you don't think it's important. Like, the money's in the detail. And I truly believe, like, when you effectively design, you're able to communicate information better, right? Like design's a feeling you can't really explain. It's just subconscious. It elicits an emotion you're not aware of, but as you're viewing a funnel and it's nicely designed, you're just like, you instantly trust, and you think that company or that person is more credible because of how they're showcasing their funnel. Like, that alone inspires trust, right? If I go watch a video, an amazing two exact videos, same content. One of them has an amazing environment and backdrop, and one of them doesn't. I instantly think the one that has an amazing backdrop or an amazing environment or more production value is more credible, and I just trust it more. I'm not aware of it at the time, but I trust it more. And I think that's the same thing with funnels. You can slap some together that's crappy, that makes you money, but why? Like, why not just make it amazing, help communicate information faster, and really give people an emotion that elicits trust and authoritative, like an authority type figure in the marketplace. So that's what I try and deliver with my funnels and designs, is to really set you apart from everyone else, because you're going to look like a badass. And if you have a great offer and a great message and you tie it in, it's just like you have the trifecta.
Right. You know, you said something right there, emotion, because emotion is more than just the story. It's more than just what the product is. It's everything in a whole. And I too, you know, I designed stuff for e-com for a long time, my own products, and I take great pride in design too. So whenever somebody says it's not in the design of the funnel, to me it is. And I don't know if that's just
it is. I think like I said, I think most people that say that just don't think it's that important, and I disagree. I think it's important. I think it's, maybe they can't design, maybe they're lacking creativity and imagination, maybe they don't think, like I said, they don't think it's important. I totally disagree with that. I think if you want, like I said, you want to be the creme de la creme, you want to be the best, you need to look like the best. If I'm selling an iPhone, the first ever invented iPhone, but my website or my funnel looks like crap, it's like, why? If you have an amazing product, you need to showcase that on the front end with a beautiful design that really like elicits that type of emotion.
right. It makes it easier to whip out the credit card too, because you look, like you said, more credible.
Yeah, I trust you. I'm gonna buy because I trust you. I think that's more believable. Right. And yeah, I implore everyone to really take note of that. Like, don't design, like, know your industry, right? I'm not gonna, if you notice, like there's specific things in all different types of industries. If you're a tech company, have you noticed that all those websites look like almost identical? There's a reason for that. So like take note of the space you're operating in, but also you can make something that's crappy look amazing by just designing it well, and design will help conversions without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I totally agree with that. I've seen my first funnel again, and I cried and ran. But you know what? I got 200 emails. I made some money from it. But you know, I learned from it. You're not going to wake up and be Blake Nubar in your designs, but if you're aware of what you're seeing and ask yourself, would you buy from this? That is my thing, because so many things, especially whenever you're trying to sell something on Facebook, you know, because people don't go to Facebook to buy, they go to be entertained. So whenever they're captivated and they click in, if it looks like a spam site, or you know, because a lot of people don't know the difference between funnels and websites, so they're going to think it's, you know, in most cases it's a funnel and they just don't realize it. If it's spam, I'm not going to, if it looks spammy, I'm not going to whip out my card, and neither are they.
Yeah, most people don't go to an ugly funnel and they're like, oh, this is ugly. They're not thinking that. They're just, it's how they feel. A biochemical reaction happens inside of them that they're not aware of. Subconsciously, it's occurring, that makes them feel a specific way if they see this funnel versus this one.
Yeah, agreed. So you have done something amazing this last couple of weeks. You have launched your own Facebook group, and I was super excited, and I knew you had the hype that was just crazy build up for it, because everybody admires who you are, because you do bring quality and you do bring value to everything that you touch, which is amazing. I mean, you built that brand for you. Watching freedom fighters explode on my Facebook feed was one of the happiest times of my life, and it didn't even happen to me. Watching you, because you never really came out into the spotlight before. You've been, every once in a while you'll say something in the ClickFunnels community, or you'll drop something down, but it was really exciting for me. And I'm guessing over 1,000 people in what, 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's probably because you couldn't approve them all fast enough. You probably could have done more.
Yeah.
That was exciting for me and exciting for them. So tell us why you created this group and what it's containing.
Yeah, so Freedom Fighters really started about 3 years ago. We never really propagated the idea into that vision yet. It wasn't time, right? How we operate, we're firm believers in, we're just going to deliver the best. And until we can deliver the best, it's all about timing. Freedom Fighters came into existence when I was back at my 9 to 5. That story of when we got our first sale, it was at that moment I hit that refresh button, and the sale showed on the screen. For like 5 seconds of my life, I felt free. I felt like I did it. I won the lotto. And look, like $800, like I wasn't free from $800. It wasn't about the amount of money. It was the potential of what you can do online if you truly deliver amazing products and services. So the concept started about 3 years ago. I just wasn't ready to launch the group yet. I had to prove to myself that I was capable of not just being a person that overpromised and underdelivered. I never wanted to be that. I truly wanted to be someone that when I came to this space, I did it and people cared because I delivered results. Like, that's it. And it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago, I was like, it's time. It's time to get everyone into one space, right? Because for the past 2.5 years, I've been ghost. Like if you go to my profile, like I get great engagement, and I feel like a lot of people love that because I try and deliver value, but I'm not posting every day. Up until 3 weeks ago, I would post like once a week, and it'd be amazing engagement. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to launch that group at that time yet, because like I said, the past 2.5 years, I was more focused on actually doing stuff instead of talking a big game and never really delivering. So until I was confident, until like we were confident here, like, hey, listen, 2.5 years, we've been doing it. We've been launching funnels. We've been making people millions of dollars. Now it's time to really come up for air and teach people what I do each and every day. That's not theory, not that crap of theory. It's actual, this is what I did to get results. And that moment happened about 3 weeks ago when we launched Freedom Fighters. And now my job is to go into that group and start putting together trainings and products that really will help people in their online journey. And I'm just going to give you the truth. Like, Freedom Fighters is the raw truth, whether you want to hear it or not. I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing each and every day to find that freedom you're after. And that's how the concept kind of started.
And it's great. I think everybody's been waiting for you to come up with something, because like you said, you could go silent in any group and then you speak and you're heard. People know your name, they respect your name, they want to learn from you, and you have just nailed it. I mean, it was amazing. Like I said, it's amazing to watch. It's still amazing to watch and see the value, and everybody feels like finally somebody's come to the rescue when it comes to the funnels and you know, even the design, the people that care about the design part and, you know, the deeper end. What I found amazing was your lead magnet that you offered for $1 for a little bit, and that sold out like faster than you thought.
Yeah.
Now you're doing what, $7 on it, and then you're donating it.
Yeah. So we had 250 of them available, right? I'm like, you know what? Maybe we'll sell 100 of them. We sold out with 250 in less than 3 hours. So I was like, oh shit, what do we do now? So I went to the group, right? Because I'm serious when it comes to like urgency and scarcity. Like, we were sold, it was done. So people were emailing me like, can I get it? Can I get it? And I'm like, no, you can't. I'm sorry. So I went to the group and I was like, hey guys, like, what do you want to do? I'm going to leave it up to you. Right now, it sits back at its original price that I market each and every day, $297. Do we drop it again to $1 and let everyone have it? Or do you guys want it at $297? You guys get to pick. You guys took action. And because you took action right away, you guys vote. And the vote was like insane. It was like 60 at the time. I just cut it off because I knew where it was going. It was like 67-1 was like, drop it to $1. So we drop it to $1 and we sell so many. I did for another, it was another 250, I think. That sold out like 2 days later. I was like, crap. Okay, let's just donate it all to charity. So I went on a live and I was like, guys, listen, like, I did not think this thing was going to like explode like this. What do you guys say? I don't make $1 off it. We raise it to $7, and every month we donate to a new charity of our choice. And everyone's like, let's do it. So that's the idea now. The social media lead machine, as long as you're a Freedom Fighters member, it's a $7 product. I don't make a dime off it, and charity gets to reap the benefits, because the theory behind that is that we're freedom fighters, right? Like, we are fighting for freedom, or we're fighting to keep it. But there's other people out there that don't have that luxury. That's as easy. It might be more difficult. So it's up to us to help other people get that freedom they're after. So every month, we're just going to donate the proceeds of the social media lead machine to a new charity.
And that's amazing. That to me was, it spoke volumes of who you are as an individual and as an entrepreneur itself. Guys, if you have any questions, make sure you put them down here for Blake. We have 15 more minutes with him, so I don't want you all to want to ask him something, because he's a busy man, because he answers and responds to every message, every post inside his group.
Yeah.
Yet?
I love it. I care. You know, I was out in DC about a year and a half ago, and I was talking to Dean Graziosi. And I went up to Dean. I go, Dean, man, what's like you talk about this strategy. Like he was talking to me. He's like, hey, like when you can sell someone something, and you know you can. He's like, I'll never forget. He goes, hold off. Don't sell it to him quite yet. Give him one more touch point of value, and then go for the sale. And I was like, that's brilliant. And I loved it. And ever since then, even more, because I've always been the type that I just like to help other people win. Because the feeling I got at that moment in my life when we got that sale for $797, I want everyone to experience what that's like. I'll sell a $3 product or a $5,000 product. I get the same. I'm like a little giddy child going crazy for a sale, because I think it's the coolest thing in the world. And I want everyone else to experience that. And I just care. Like, that's my marketing strategy. Like, there's launches, and there's evergreen strategies, and there's funnels and all this stuff. My main strategy is just caring. I care about everyone in my group. And I'm there. I like when you see me respond or like something, that is me. There's no one in my account. I'm there responding. I'm reading every comment. I'm probably in there. Like people think I'm crazy for doing it because they're like, how are you running a business? But I'm in there 6 hours a day just listening and helping because that's how much I want everyone in that group to succeed.
That's great. I think everybody remembers their first dollar online because it is a milestone. It's like your first steps.
Yeah, there's no, the one thing I think a lot of people agree on when they make their first sale is there's no turning back. Whatever you were doing before in that life of yours doesn't exist anymore. This is your new path and trajectory.
My first sale was $12 and that was it. And that's all it took.
That's all it takes.
That's all it took. And here I am almost a decade later doing this and, shifting to the teaching role.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. And embracing the new. So ClickFunnels was new for me. So, and which is new for a lot of people on here. Do you use anything other than ClickFunnels? I think, as far as, do you do WordPress stuff still?
Yeah, so my business is, I keep it as simple as I can, but I also like to use the best. My best piece of advice is if you're just starting out, I would try and keep it all in ClickFunnels, right? ClickFunnels offers a 360 solution. That's what I did. Eventually, as you grow your business to different milestones, you start realizing that you need other pieces of software to really kind of like supplement. You need to specialize, right? For example, if I'm going to go buy some protein powder, I'm not going to Publix. Can I get protein powder from Publix? Absolutely. But I'm not going to buy it there. I'm going to go to GNC or Vitamin Shop, or I'm going to go online to bodybuilding.com because they specialize. And as you're growing your business, you start to realize you want to try and get people that specialize on specific things. So I use ClickFunnels for funnels. I think hands down, I've been in every editor. I've been in all of them. I think hands down, they have the best editor. Sure, does it have bugs and stuff? Yes, that's software. All software has bugs. But when it comes to funnels, in my opinion, ClickFunnels has the best software on the market to build funnels and create funnels. I use Kartra for email sequences and automations and my membership sites and my order form because I think they do an amazing job. They're very intuitive. They're very well put together. You could tell they take pride and they care in their product as well. And then when it comes to delivering my webinar, I use Webinar Jam and EverWebinar. It's that I have a triangle of products. Those are my core products. And then I have a bunch of little products like Proof and, Hotjar and all these little things to help out with like in tracking and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I think we all do. And, in that little $7 lead magnet and your, I forgot what it's called.
Social media lead machine.
There you go. You have little tips in there because, I've built several funnels too, but there were some that I didn't even know about. Flat icon. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I didn't even know about flat icon or duotone.
Yeah.
I thought those two tools were, I was like, wow, that's how you make them look so pretty.
Yeah.
Do look at your funnels. I'll just go into my marketplace and just look at your funnels just to see how you have them laid out and what's what. And you're one that I try to draw inspiration from. So it's great. So inside the it's guys, $7.
Yeah.
This whole course and he walks you step by step and it is crazy insane. And I thought I'm going to buy it so that way I can get inside your head for however many minutes it is and see what does Blake do that I don't do.
Yeah, it's an amazing course. It's an amazing product. It was the origin story, that the backstory on that was geared on the fact that I've purchased countless courses. And one thing I realized is that course creators think that by adding hours and hours of content that it provides value. I think it's the exact opposite. I don't think saying your course is 40 hours. And look, it depends, right? If you have a 3-month course, yes, it's going to be like 60 hours. But I don't use hours of content as a value add. I deal each and every day with business owners, whether they're starting a business or they're trying to grow their business. They don't have time to be in a course for 50 hours. So we just try to find a way we took 20 hours of information and we distilled it down into 90 minutes of exact step-by-step what you need to do. Click this, drag this, change this. There is no guesswork. And the goal was to get you in and out with a funnel launch, generating leads in the next 3 hours. And that was the whole preface behind it.
Right. It took me 2 hours and 15 minutes, and that's because I had to stop. Because I tried to jump forward. You know how you do that.
Of
But
course.
so like is the fact that you went into stuff that most people don't, and that is the meta tags and the little bit of the SEO stuff. And to me, that was crazy cool because so many people can, like you said, build a funnel, but they don't know the other stuff to go with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's an amazing program to have if for two reasons. If you're just starting out, right? You're brand new and you're like, where do I begin? That's one of the biggest questions I get all the time is where do I begin? What do I do? It's all overwhelming. Everyone's teaching this stuff and then it's conflicting with this stuff and it's conflicting with this stuff. I'm just like, social media lead machine. Once you get through that, things will start becoming clear. I promise you. And it's also perfect for people that are like growing a business or like trying to generate leads because once you have it up on your profile, people start opting out. I think we've launched 200 funnels have been launched from that program in the last 14 days. And I have people reaching out to me already saying they're generating sales and leads like on autopilot. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, that's how it works. Like people are coming to your profile every day. Like you have to have a way to start like building that relationship with them.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to drop a link in the chat when we're done here to your group, the Freedom Fighters group. And I urge everybody to, if you're not a member of it, to do it. And then I urge, if you are a member and you haven't done it, you need to get the social media lead machine. You have to get it to learn from Blake Nubar for $7, and it's all going to charity. I mean, it's insane. I would have paid, like you said, $297 just to get in your head for that long. And what I loved about it is because I am one of those people that I hate videos that are 60 minutes long, 90 minutes. I don't have time for that. And whenever I got in there, I was like, oh, 13 minutes, oh,
Yeah.
8. I was stoked because it kept my interest and it kept me going straight through. And within a couple hours, like I said, I had the whole thing built and
Done.
ready.
Yeah, very simple. That was the goal. Like I'm like you. I get discouraged if I open up a video and it's like 46 minutes. I'm like, next. Like hopefully I can skip this one.
Even
So
in two times mode to go really,
yeah,
it's still a lot of time.
yeah. Yeah, it's just
Exactly.
like it's not needed. There's faster ways. And the way you're able to cut down on the amount of time someone is in your program is you actually take time to create the program. You don't phone it in. You don't just randomly get on a mic and on a camera and start talking. If that is how sections become 90 minutes long is because you're not thinking it through. When you think something through and you organize it, you're able to take an hour of information and distill it down into 4 minutes.
Exactly. And that's great. So everybody, you all are going to love this. I was impressed, of course, which I don't even know why I was impressed because everything you touch is great. And I'm super excited. So what's next for Blake? What are you going to do? I mean, you got the launch going and you're, you know, holding on to this pretty good and taking care of it. What's next?
Yeah, so the main goal is to really like foster a community of people that want to start or grow their online business. Like doing it in the way that I did it, that like basically giving away my strategies, my tactics, my techniques, what I did to grow my business. I can create a community of people that can learn from me, right? And my goal is to really just nurture this community, like really like be there and help people out. At the same time, we're launching our OFA offer tomorrow, which we've been working on. It's an amazing offer. It's designed to actually help you with OFA, nothing more, nothing less. I really wanted to supercharge OFA, and I think we nailed it with the offer we created. So we're launching that tomorrow at 3 p.m., which is going to be a really cool launch. I urge anyone who can make it, hang out with us. We got some cool things we're doing. And that's really it. Other than that, our big flagship program is being worked on, which is going to be a cool thing to really help people take their whether you're just starting out or whether you're trying to scale your business, it works for both. And we want to take anyone to the next level, whether you're generating no money or you're generating $1 million. Like we want to help people get to the next level.
Awesome. Wow. I am going to be watching you like a hawk, just so you know. And I'm pretty sure all the people that have signed on are doing the same because we appreciate you, Blake. We appreciate what you bring to everybody and the value, the heart. You can see the heart, you can feel the heart in everything you touch. And we're blessed to have you. So without a doubt. So we're going to drop a link to Freedom Fighters group. If you're not in there now, you need to go ahead and you have to answer all the questions, guys. There's no skipping the questions. Answer all the questions so you can get in there, because he's going to have that launch tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern
time.
Eastern time, so 2 Central, and get that social media lead magnet or machine. It's $7. It all goes to charity, and it's worth way more than that. Way more.
I appreciate it. Well, I'm humbled, honestly. The reason we do every day we wake up, because you guys show up, we show up. That's how it works. So, I mean, I thank everyone else. And as long as people come and they want to learn and they really want to grow their business the right way, I'll deliver as much as I can to help everyone.
Perfect. Great. I love it. Blake, thank you so much for taking 45 minutes out of your already crazy day. Every day is a crazy day for Blake, but that's okay. You handle it very well. I'll be looking for a t-shirt sometime soon.
Working out we got it all covered. So Kathy, I appreciate you having me. Honestly, like, I'm humbled that you asked me to be on. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, Freedom Fighters, we'll drop the link. Get that $7. You're going to love it. And then be in there for tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time when Blake goes live to announce his special offer. Thank you, Blake.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.